Makers of Modern India. Now, a book with that kind of title we are sure will not arouse much interest in the average reader. You'd expect meeting Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, B.R. Ambedkar, Jayaprakash Narayan, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Rabindranath Tagore, and such other leading lights in this book, and rightly so. But what if we tell you you're also likely to encounter certain largely unknown personalities and debatable figures like Muhammad Ali Jinnah and M.S. Golwalkar in there? Trust historian Ramchandra Guha to push the envelope and play the provocateur. We met the author in Mumbai and started the conversation by asking him how did he go about picking these 19 makers of modern India.
Each of the figures in this book had to be a thinker activist, not a pure intellectual, nor indeed a pure politician. Secondly, they had to speak to important social and political matters. So I didn't have pure creative writers or literary figures, but those who spoke about nationalism, gender, caste, foreign policy. And thirdly, their writings had to be lucid and accessible. And fourthly, their writings had to travel across the generations.
What about Rabindranath Tagore?
Tagore really converted Gandhi from a kind of militant patriot with slightly xenophobic tendencies into an inclusive internationalist who was willing to take ideas from anywhere else in the world. Tagore also had a great influence on Nehru's foreign policy. So in terms of his political impact, he had a much greater influence on Indian nationalism and politics than any writer.
And why include people like then Golwalkar and Jinnah? Because these are not makers but breakers.
They are makers because they define the shape of how the nation articulated itself. Without Jinnah, you would not have Gandhi and Gandhi vigorously reaffirming, deepening his program of Hindu-Muslim unity. Likewise, Golwalkar. Golwalkar is not just the other of Nehru. He wants to create a Hindu Pakistan which Nehru opposes, but Golwalkar has profound intellectual and political influence. As the leader of the RSS for 35 years, he molded and shaped Lal Krishna Advani, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Murli Manohar Joshi, generations of BJP leaders. There would be no Narendra Modi without Golwalkar.
Interestingly, the left or the Marxist thought remains unrepresented. I mean, there were people like M.N. Roy and very recently EMS.
No, I considered it very carefully. I said in my introduction, Marxism has had a great political impact on India and has also influenced the intellectual class in the universities. But it's my considered view that there have been no original Marxist thinkers. I went through M.N. Roy and EMS Namboodiripad. They were on my short list, the two names you mentioned. But I believe they really just sort of directly and sometimes even mechanically applied the ideas of Marx and Engels and Lenin. The one person who could have done that was Bhagat Singh. Bhagat Singh was moving towards a less dogmatic, a more open-minded, a more Indian Marxism. If Bhagat Singh had lived another 10 years, he may have been our first original Marxist thinker.
I was going through the chapter on Jayaprakash Narayan and his thoughts on Kashmir, and he says that we must emotionally integrate, or we must look at emotional integration, which sounds the thing to do in these times.
Absolutely. And this goes back to my original point, that their writings had to speak not only to their time but to our time. JP is writing in 1964 about how you can't forcibly absorb the Kashmiri people. The dignity, the honor, the rights of the Kashmiri people must be respected. So JP's writings are prescient. He was writing in 1964, it could be 2010, and I'm glad you brought this up and you directed attention to this.
Thank you so much for joining us.